Hey guys, Jason here for the Love of Tractors. Have a lot of light on this side. I'm gonna get this lighting thing figured out someday. Um, so I'm doing another question and answer thing, and I thought maybe I would take a chance to sort of re-answer some old questions, or at least answer some of the more popular questions because they keep coming up over and over again, particularly in the live chats, but also in the comments section. There's like three or four questions that I get over and over again, and I thought maybe I'd just make this video to focus on like the four most popular questions that I get. And so there's that. If you're watching this and you like toy tractors and the occasional real tractor, um, please subscribe down below, or maybe I'll put a little bubble here. I don't know. We'll see. Please subscribe, like, all that stuff. Also, comment below if you have other questions that you want me to answer. I'll do another one of these eventually. Try to do them fairly regularly, and we'll do another live chat pretty soon here too. Maybe things will get a less crazy. And then one more thing, thoughts go out to all the folks in Iowa that got hit by tornadoes this week. The Vermeer plant got hit, as a lot of you saw. I'm sure not only is that terrible for the Vermeer company, but all those workers there are out of a job, at least for a while. I mean, it's just terrible. So anyway, thoughts go out to them, and if there's any way you can kind of pitch in to help those folks, I'm sure they would appreciate it. So, okay. Enough serious stuff, though. Let's talk tractors, y'all. No fancy intro. Let's just get right into the questions. All right, so the first one is so this is like a two-parter. What was my first toy and what's my favorite toy? So my first toy was a John Deere 8340, or like, let's call it a 40 series, four-wheel drive, 1/16 scale. That was the first one I ever had. Still one of my favorites today by far. I mean, it's just one of the coolest. 1/64th scale wise, my first was I think like an old AC, and it's kind of disappeared over the years. I think it got broke at some point, and then being like 1985, we didn't think to keep it, and so we maybe threw it away. So that kind of sucks. but anyway, I had a lot of those like El Cheapo Ertl, like 1/64 scale tractors. You guys know which ones I'm talking about. All different colors. So okay. So my favorite toy, I guess that's one, Steiger. I love Steigers. It's my favorite tractor brand, I guess. I really love all of them. That's why this tractor is kind of named what it is. I mean, Deere, New Holland, Red Stuff. I don't care. I love tractors. Massey Ferguson, got one of those here. So I just like tractors. I just do. I just think they're cool. So. But probably Steiger if I had to pick one, and then probably my all-time favorite is the Steiger Panther, the big one, the KP like 1400. I think that thing just looks incredible. So, anyway, okay, how to get started customizing? Yeah, that's the number one question I get asked. Tire swaps, and that's why I specifically put these two tractors here in front of me. By the way, quick plug. I've got a few of these on eBay. If you search LJS Tractors and Angels, or if you just search for like 1/64 scale fertilizer buggy, I've got a few of these on eBay. Both size, 4-ton and 6-ton. Check those out. So tractor swaps, or tire swaps. So this is a 7000 series John Deere, and this is a little farther than tire swap at this point. You can see all the details added, and I actually didn't do a lot of this work. I traded for this tractor, although this tractor was broken, and I had to put it back together. So in a way, I did do a lot of the work on it. But I like trading tractors, especially custom tractors. Anyway, this is a really nice piece. I don't know who did it originally. I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sure. He's a talented builder, but I don't want to say it was him in case it wasn't. And then he's like, that's not my hunk of junk. So, anyway, these tires are off of those new spec cast Agco tractors, which I've got some somewhere. These guys. Anyway, and they just pop right off. And the ones on the 7000 series generally come off easily. I believe these are riveted on, so you just take your drill them out, pull your tires off, stick these on. You might have to cut your axle just a hair to get them to work right, but it's a pretty easy swap. And then the fronts, you can actually rob the whole front end off those AGCOs, and you can actually rob the whole front end off those AGCOs and place those up under here. And I wanted singles because you don't have duals on the front on a 7000 series generally. So there you go. Not exactly the cheapest way to swap tires. Certainly buying some tires from Mini Toy Truck and Tractor would be the cheaper way to do it. Or, Chucky or anybody that's doing tires right now. But I don't know why, I felt like I needed to, keep adding people. I don't know. I get tires from all sorts of people. They're all great people as far as I know so far. I mean, seriously, the toy world's full of cool people. But anyway, it's an easy swap, and that's where you want to start. And you don't have to buy a $20 AGCO tractor to do the swap, and you could swap another Ertl, another $5 Ertl tractor tires out. I've done that many a times. There's some really great looking tires now. Maybe not necessarily for the 7000 series. Maybe you want to go with a higher end tire like the AGCOs or something like that. But like these, for example, these. This is the Authentic. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a $20 tractor too, but these are great tires. Also, somewhere here, off these International, those are some nice looking tires, considering they're coming from the factory. They're coming from Ertl, so you got a lot of options out there. Tires are where to start. So I dropped my thing. Okay, so what to use for dirt? One of the biggest questions I get for sure. So you can go and buy dirt at a hobby store, like Woodland Scenics and whatever, and they've got all sorts of different colors. So you can get the color you want, you can mix and match, whatever. But really what you ought to do is just go get some dirt. I know that sounds weird, but you go out to the field if you're a farmer, or if you know a farmer, maybe he'll let you swipe a bucket from his field or your yard. Just go dig up some dirt. Now you're going to want to kind of, chop it up or crush it up or whatever, get it as fine as you can, and then you want to sift it so that you've got the finest of the fine, and then you're going to put down your glue. You're just going to use, I'll show you. You're just going to use Elmer's glue, white glue, whatever. Mix this, play with your mixture. Get it in a spray bottle. You can get spray bottles anywhere. Just mix it up. Let's say start half and half. That's going to be thick. And then you're going to say, okay, that was done. Let's do more. You're going to add more water and thin that down. Or you can even do that and brush it on if you don't want to spray it. Just get a paintbrush, just a cheap old paintbrush, and you can, mix it up in a bowl of some sort. Don't use your parents' good bowls. Just get something junk. Brush it on, and then you're going to take your dirt and just sort of gently sift it onto your surface, your board, and let that glue set up. You're good to go. You've got a field. So that's the easiest and cheapest way to do it by far. That's free versus, I don't know, the stuff you're going to buy that's dirt colored is going to cost you in the neighborhood of $5 to $15 depending on how much you buy at a time. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So I saved this one for last. Like I said, we're only going to do 4 of the most popular here. I get this one all the time. And I'll try not to ramble on this one. Are toys a good investment? And so, I'm not a financial advisor, so don't listen to me. But my answer is no. And that sounds weird, right? Coming from a guy that's got all these toys around me. But, no. I don't think they are. And so let me tell you why. Let's just start with this guy, for example. So this is the Authentic from Ertl. Neat tractor. Came out, it was like $20, okay? It's an Authentic, so it's supposed to be collectible. So these popped up in value a little bit, not very much, but like $30. Okay, so if you bought this for $20 and you sold it for $30, all right, you made pretty nice little turnaround there, right? But then let's say you didn't catch that peak, which only lasted a little bit. Now these are back to like $20, and in fact, I bought some of these on sale from one of the big online people for like 18 or $16, something like that. I don't remember, because I was just gonna rob the tires off of them. So, no. Now, of course, there are some toys that increase in value, and they're always going to be increase in value. Like my Big Bud 747 that you guys have seen on the shelf over there. The thing's always going to be worth something to somebody. They didn't make a lot of them. Detail is incredible, and it's something that captures a lot of people's imagination. But the problem is, generally, you don't know what tractors are going to do that. So, like, let's take the John Deere Quadtracs that came out, right? So they brought out that first batch of Quadtracs. I think it was the 9620 RX. Those things skyrocketed in price. I mean, they got crazy in price, approaching four figures at one point, and it seemed like, okay, that's a good buy. This thing's going up and up and up. Then what happened? Well, they brought out more models. Bruder has one. Maybe not a 9620, but they've got a John Deere Quadtrac. And now there's another Ertl John Deere Quadtrac, which I believe is the 570. There's a row crop John Deere Quadtrac. All of that. So what happens then with those is that you'll find that while there's some people that are diehard collectors and they want that first sort of introductory 9620, or they want just the 9620 because it's kind of the big dog, there's a lot of other people that just want a John Deere Quadtrac and they don't care what model number it is, or they don't care that it says, super duper awesome special edition or whatever. And then that brings the value of those first ones down. And this is a lesson that has repeated itself over and over and over again in the toy world. The toys that are the most collectible are the toys, how do I put this? That kind of nobody wanted to collect them. Like that sounds crazy, but let's take muscle cars. Let's switch it up, because I think muscle cars and toys in a way are very similar. What we saw with muscle cars, and you guys know, like I'm a car guy. I've done a lot of automotive journalism in the past. I feel like I can speak on this reasonably well, although I'm not going to call myself an expert. That would be crazy. But what we've seen in the past, and I'll just give you a different look while I'm talking here at some toys. What we've seen in the past on muscle cars, for example, is they were worth nothing when I was a kid. I mean, late 70s through the early to mid 80s, you couldn't get rid of them. Literally saw like Cudas, Challengers, Roadrunners, Camaros for $500-$600, and a lot of times they were just getting scrapped. They were worth nothing. Then what happened? The baby boomers got old and had money, and then they wanted to relive their youth, and so they started buying muscle cars. Then they got harder to find, harder and harder and harder, and then you started seeing them shoot up in price, and in some places ridiculous price. Like, okay, a 70 Hemi Cuda is always going to be worth a lot of money. Now, will it be $1 million car always? Probably not. Maybe, but probably not. But it's always going to be worth a lot of money. But will a 70 Cuda with a 318 and an automatic? Maybe not. And we're seeing that now, actually. The price on a lot of these muscle cars are softening big time. You can get, particularly what I would call second-tier muscle cars, let's say like Novas, things of that nature, way cheaper than you could get them just 3 or 4 years ago. And that's because the baby boomers are getting older and maybe they're selling those cars, maybe they're dying off and their kids are selling those cars, and then what you see is the next generation of people, maybe they don't want a 70 Nova. Okay, they still may want that Hemi Cuda, so that price is up, but they may not want that second tier car. So anyway, that's my point is the same thing happens in farm toys. So 10 years ago, what was hugely collectible were those old 2-cylinders, the John Deere 2-cylinders, and some of the older Internationals and things like that. And what happened was, those older guys, which a lot of them were baby boomers, were really into that. So they were buying those. They were, and that was driving the price up on them. They wanted them. And then also there weren't a lot of them because back when those guys were kids, those were toys. They weren't collectibles. Nobody was collecting John Deere Model A in 1960. But now they are. And so the price got drove up a little bit. But now what's happening again? Those older guys, they're dying off or they're selling out. And their kids don't want it. And then you're seeing those toys go down big time in value. The prime example of that is the John Deere Precision A with cultivators. That thing peaked at about $500, and they sold for that at times. I've seen a few sell for $400 to $500. Now you can get those for like, let's say $125 to $175. Especially if you shop hard, those things can be had pretty cheap and almost like new value. So is it worth to go buy a John Deere A Precision 25 years ago, hold on to it for 25 years and make $20 off of it? Heck no. Heck no. Go put your money in a targeted retirement fund in Vanguard or, whatever, something like that. Make 8% a year, be happy. So that's my point. If you can really read the toy market and, hey, there's the next Big Bud 747, whatever that's going to be, and you know that's going to be collectible and desirable, then cool. Okay, go get it, and maybe you'll make money off of it in 20 years. But for the most part, you need to realize you're probably not going to make a lot of money off your toys. I kind of hate to say it, but it's the way it is. Now, with that said, is there value in toys? Oh, heck yes, there's value in toys. I kind of feel confident with most of my collection that I could get out what I've got in it. And I can make money in some places, and I'll lose money in some places. So I don't feel like, I'm not saying don't buy toys. Obviously, buy the crap out of them, especially if you like them. But I'm saying don't bank on retiring on farm toys. Especially as we see our society move even more towards the city from rural. I mean, like, let's be honest, you kids today, there are less of you growing up on farms than there were when I grew up. And there were way less when I grew up than when my dad grew up. So we're just seeing that farm population dwindle, and a lot of city people don't even know what a tractor is, let alone want a collectible of it. Okay, so that got really long. I apologize. But I felt like it needed to be said. I felt like those needed to be, that kind of needed to be explained a little bit, because I get that a lot. Like, oh, which tractors are a great investment? Should I invest in tractors? No. If you want a tractor, do it. I don't care. If you want this New Holland 4-wheel drive and it costs you $100, do it. It's your money. Enjoy it. But don't expect to get $100, $200, $300, $400 out of it down the road. I just don't see it anymore. That we had a unique period in our time where those things were returning big money, and I think we're past that to some extent. Like I said, you could definitely make money off toy tractors, flipping toy tractors. It can be done. But don't bank on it for your retirement. Okay, guys, that's it. Again, if you made it all the way through this whole thing, awesome. You're the best. Thanks. But anyway, all of you guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you got questions, leave them below. We'll do them in the next one. We'll do a live chat again here real soon. Real soon. I'm really busy right now. It's been a nutty couple weeks, but we're gonna get through the busy part, and then I definitely want to do at least one more and maybe two more before we start harvesting, which is, here's a shocker, like 6 weeks away at the most. So, anyway, all right, guys. Have yourselves a great night. Happy tractor hunting.